Good evening, everyone. It
Good
is
evening.
7 p.m., so I will call this meeting to order. We will ask the mayor to lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance. And just for sound purposes, can everyone else just be on mute? Thank you. Mayor Hopkins.
Certainly, let's have the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Mayor. We will proceed with roll call, beginning with our esteemed mayor.
Madam President?
I'm sorry, Mr. Gibbs, you have your disclaimer.
Yes. Good evening, everyone. This meeting is being held via Zoom pursuant to the Governor's emergency declaration. As such, this meeting is being recorded. If you participate in the meeting, you are consenting to being recorded. There's no expectation of privacy in this meeting. At the appropriate time, the council president will announce that there will be a citizens forum or public comment. We ask that you raise your hand in the chat box and let us know that you want to communicate. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you. Madam Secretary, please proceed with roll call, beginning with our esteemed mayor.
Mayor Hopkins,
Present.
President Monroe,
Present.
Vice President Francis,
Present.
Councilor Johnson,
Present.
Councilor Cave,
Hey, everybody, I'm here.
Councilor McCabe,
Present.
Councilor Jones Waters,
Present.
Councilor Rowcloud,
Here.
Solicitor Gibbs,
Present.
Ms. Malvina,
Here.
Nichols.
Present.
Ms. James informed me earlier that she would not be attending tonight. She's at home recuperating. And that concludes roll call.
Thank you. We will move on to our citizens forum. Mr. Gibbs, are there any citizens wishing to speak?
At this time, yes. Carmen Martin, may I recognize her, ma'am?
Thank you.
Ms. Martin, you are now being recognized by the Borough Council. Can you please state your name and your address for the borough, please?
Can you hear me okay?
We can hear you just fine, ma'am.
Okay, my name is Carmen Martin. My address is 1034 Callahan Avenue, Yeadon, Pennsylvania, 19050. And I just was wondering, is there a reason why we cannot at least see the person who's speaking? I'm sort of new to this format, and in an effort to try to get to know the officials that represent the borough, it would be nice if I could put a face with a name, at least for the person who's speaking. It really would be helpful for me to be able to identify them physically. Is there any reason why that does not happen?
Madam President, I would say one thing. This is Ron France. I'm having problems with my phone as far as getting the video. I'll try to work on that, okay?
Thank you, Mr. Francis. Ms. Martin, if you go to our Yeadon Borough website, you are able to see photos of all of us, and our names are below, if that might be helpful. This is a new platform for everyone, and we are entering people's homes in the evening time. So it is not a mandate that people are showing their faces in their homes with their loved ones. It may create privacy issues.
No, I understand that, but I know in several of the meetings that I attend with my alumni association, they have a background that they've chosen to use for all of the participants. So that could very well help with the privacy issues. You even came up with a logo for the borough. It's just helpful when you communicate with people to be able to identify them by face while they're actually presenting. And I've seen other entities be able to do that, as well as preserve the privacy of the individual who's presenting.
All right, thank you very much. Mr. Gibbs, are there any other citizens wishing to speak?
No, ma'am.
All right. We will move on to our meeting minutes up for consideration of the February 11, 2001 caucus meeting minutes.
So moved.
Second, Madam President.
Thank you. Having been moved and properly seconded on the question. Hearing none, I'll conduct a roll call vote in the order that councilors appear on my screen. Councilor Jones Waters,
Yes.
Councilor Cade,
Yes.
Councilor McCabe,
Yes.
Councilor Rowe-Cloud,
Yes.
Councilor Johnson,
Yes.
Councilor Francis.
Yes.
It's a yes from me. The vote is unanimous. The motion carries. Up for consideration is the February 18, 2021 legislative meeting minutes.
So moved.
Second, Madam President.
Having been moved and properly seconded on the question. Hearing none, I'll proceed with a roll call vote in the order that councilors appear on my screen. Councilor Jones Waters,
Yes.
Councilor Cade,
Yes.
Councilor McCabe,
Yes.
Councilor Rowe-Cloud,
Yes.
Councilor Johnson,
Yes.
Councilor Francis.
Yes.
It's a yes from me. The vote is unanimous. The motion carries. We will move on to our mayor's report.
Thank you, Madam President. I have a couple of things to report. First of which, Thursday, March 4th, we had a special mayor's forum where invited County Councilman Kevin Madden and the Delaware County Health Advisor, Dr. Lisa Mahoney, to explain more about, had a opportunity for residents to pose questions and for them to explain more about the health center, which is going to be proposed to be the permanent Delaware County Health Center. And it was conveyed to them that we were not satisfied with the vaccine rollout for Yeadon residents, and they did agree and apologized and agreed to ramp up testing for Yeadonites, special days for Yeadonites. So keep in mind, though it's housed here, it is for the entire county, and there are other sites that in the county that has the vaccine. So what we did was they did agree to give us special days for our seniors, those in the 1A category, and did our best to sign up our seniors, and we're still in that phase, in that process. I got a call from the mayor of Lansdowne yesterday asking, why is Yeadon so special? That he's getting complaints that we're getting more, seem to be more vaccines. I told him I'm only control, or I only represent Yeadon, and we're going to do the best we can to ramp up. I know there's a shortage of vaccines, and it's throughout the entire country. It was especially vexing in our area because Delaware County did not receive a fair share as compared to other counties in the state. The federal government has stepped in. They're ramping up the production of vaccines, and there are other sources that we're working on besides the health center. But so far we're catching up, and we're ahead of most boroughs in that regard. Two other things that came about very recently, I'm happy to report that Delaware County Council has approved a community block development grant. $200,000 will be awarded to Yeadon for sanitary sewer and rehabilitation on Cypress Street. between Bailey and Longacre Boulevard. And again, a bit of really great news. Yeadon was awarded almost $1.14 million in COVID economic relief from the federal government. 50% with the proviso that 50% will be spent within the next 60 days, and the other 50% will be granted 12 months from now. So that's really, really great news for Yeadon. So things are moving, and there's going to be, no pun intended, shutting the arm will really, really help us with our COVID spending that we had to spend to maintain the borough overtime and the like to keep the borough safe. So there ends my report, but really great news for the borough.
Thank you, Mayor. We'll now move on to our.
I actually have a question.
So this isn't, okay, Councilor Rocloud, I'll recognize you after my report, please. This isn't caucus, so this isn't really, but I'll recognize you after my report. So I just wanted to further what the mayor had been discussing regarding the COVID vaccine. In the very beginning, Yeadon was in the news for some very different reasons. There was a lot of speculation that the COVID rates in Yeadon were a lot higher than they actually were because of the number of long-term care facilities that we had in our community. At that time, the mayor and county council and other local elected officials got together and made sure that, that disparity would be addressed in vaccinations and in COVID relief. And at this time, it is great to see all of that come into fruition. I had a follow-up call with Senator Anthony Williams for the 100 vaccinations that he secured on a last-minute basis for residents within his constituency. He reached out to us and asked us to give him names of individuals in our area who qualify for a vaccine and got them vaccinated at Upper Darby High School last Sunday. The balance, it was a first come, first served effort. And of course it filled up quickly, but the balance of those folks were subsequently placed on our Yeadon list. And just to show how aggressive and dedicated we are to this process, I'm sure Mr. Payne, who collected some names, will also be able to attest to the fact that there were people who received multiple calls. They received a call for a vaccine on Sunday. Many of them accepted that call, but subsequently received another call on Monday, making sure that they were vaccinated and asking them if they needed to be added to the Yeadon list. So Yeadon is no longer being overlooked and is not going to be a place that where there's disparate treatment and where where we are not, our efforts are really proving fruitful. So I want to thank everyone who came together to present us with the names of those individuals who needed to be vaccinated, and any overflow from the Sunday list were able to be accommodated on Tuesday and this upcoming Saturday. We found out that the county has also extended the what we're going to call them Yeadon days at the health center for an additional week. It's really based on the number of vaccines that they have available to distribute, and we've asked that they make sure that they set aside. And this was because we noticed, although they had a list of 192,000 people that already existed before the Wellness Center even opened, we said that it was not good to have our residents seeing a long line of people who don't look like them being vaccinated in our community. It felt awful, and they jumped on it and addressed it immediately and made sure that we had a plan going forward. So thank you to everyone who was involved, and we will continue to fight for and with our residents. Councilor Rocloud.
Thank you. With respect to the 100 vaccinations that was secured by Senator Williams, exactly how many residents from Yeadon actually was able to receive the vaccine? Do we
So
have?
I spoke with Senator Williams, and that information is HIPAA protected, and he also suggested that you contact his office directly. We simply provided them with the names. It was a first come, first served basis. And then Ms. Norman from his office, I gave, after providing her with all of the names, I implored her that if there were any Yeadon residents that were provided that were not able to make it into that 100, that she returned their names to us. So as I mentioned, there were some residents who actually received the vaccine on Monday and still got called to receive a vaccine on Tuesday, but they were able to give that Tuesday spot to another individual. So all of the residents that were submitted, whether through Senator Williams' office or the health center, were addressed.
Madam President,
I'm sorry. Can I finish, please? I can never get to finish my questions. So with respect to the 100 vaccinations that was actually received in Yeadon, it was approximately 7 residents that received it.
That's not at all correct. I'm sorry. And then
I'm sorry, but can you not interrupt me? Can you not interrupt me, please?
The senator suggested that you contact his office.
You know
You did
what?
not get this information from his office, and I'm going to have to ask for a point of order.
I got it directly from his office. I got it directly from his office, and they did not say it was a secret. They said this was the number, and that's that.
So, Councilor Roadcloud,
so my question is, here's my question. Here's my question.
I'm going to ask for a point of order.
So here's my question.
And when I ask for a point of order,
here's my question. Do you not want to hear the question?
Stop talking.
No, I don't need to. I have a question.
That means
I have a question about the vaccine. I have a question.
Councilor Roadcloud, this is your first warning.
There are 100 vaccinations that was allegedly for Yeadon residents. It was not for the Yeadon, just for Yeadon residents. It was for his legislative district within Delaware County. So here's my issue. We have employees, essential workers that are employed by the borough that have been on the waiting list to receive a vaccination, and they were not afforded the opportunity to partake in some of these extra vaccines. So
the information that you are providing to the public is incorrect.
No, it's not incorrect.
It is incorrect. It is incorrect.
Have your way.
I spoke with the senator
Have your way, Counselor.
Before this call, and the senator suggested that you contact his office directly because you have not done so. So please do not mislead the public with the efforts that we are making.
With misinformation regarding a life and death situation.
And if there's one more, then you will be muted for the remainder of the meeting.
I would like to see you try it.
Madam President, can I just add one small factor here?
Thank you.
I was attempting to answer Ms. Roadcloud's question to the extent that I knew it. I attempted to find out the same thing about how many residents of Yeadon were served with his allocation of the vaccine. I spoke to one of his aides. I spoke to Ms. Joy, and she said that same thing, that she couldn't tell us offhand, but she can tell us that Yeadon was the most aggressive in filling the slots of all the 6. There were 6 sections in his constituency. He said that Yeadon filled the most slots and was the most aggressive. That's what she told me. So I don't know the number, but that's what I was told, that Yeadon was the most aggressive in filling the spots. That's
so
I
thank you, Mayor. And I actually provided I walked up and down my street and knocked on doors of my elderly neighbors and asked them who needed to be vaccinated. And I know that Councilor Francis, Councilor Johnson, Mr. Payne, and as well as Dr. McCabe all use their resources to connect with older constituents in our area. And I was in contact with Ms. Norman until 11 o'clock the night before to make sure that Yeadon was represented. So this was an effort that should not be undermined by false information. But thank you, Mayor. We will move on to our manager's report.
I asked that my report, as I submitted it last week at caucus, be accepted with just one addition. In speaking on the vaccinations that we're scheduling, we do have a call center number that's been established at the borough for people to call into so that the borough lines don't get inundated with the calls, because as people are calling in, it is tying up the lines, affecting the police department as well. So we set up a line 267-449-1496. Again, that's 267-449-1496. It's also on the cable channel, the website, all the borough resources. We ask that anyone calling to schedule, call that number. If you call the main number, they're going to transfer you to that number. Right now, we're still scheduling for Saturday. There's still about 100 slots left. Next week, we're scheduling the 23rd and the 27th, and we have almost 800 slots to fill there. So we really need everybody spreading the word that if you are 65 years of age or older and living in Yeadon, or you meet the phase 1A requirements, please call if you're interested in getting vaccinated at the Wellness Center on any of those dates, the 20th, the 23rd, or the 27th. We have been working with Clay Payne from the library and whoever else is assisting over there, as well as Christine Helmendollar from Friendship Circle / Senior Community Services. And we thank them for their efforts in helping us. Mr. Payne will be creating a flyer to go out with all the books that are taken out for use at the library for this upcoming week, so people will be aware of these dates. So again, please let anybody know who may be interested or is looking to have the vaccination. Contact us at that number so we can get them scheduled. That concludes my report.
Thank you. We will now move on to our solicitor's report.
Good evening, everyone. We are working through a number of tax assessment appeals. Council will get a list once our entries in all of them, which will be done by the end of the week. In your package was a 2021 shade tree list that needed to be for removal. I'd ask for a motion to approve 2021 shade tree removal list.
Is there a motion?
So moved. So moved.
Is there a second?
Second, Madam President.
Having been moved and properly seconded on the question, hearing none, I will proceed with a roll call vote in the
I
order
do
that
have a
Council.
quick question if it's not too late, Madam President.
Thank you.
This is a great list. How flexible will this list change between now and until we action some of the trees? Because I do think there's a few extras as well.
What your vote tonight for is to advertise these trees for removal. Council elected at its last meeting that advertisement won't just be through a newspaper, but advertisement will also be through personal mail to the home in front of or behind the tree. So I think Mr. Wilkerson can deal with if there are other trees, but we don't have to just advertise once. We're not limited to one advertisement or one process.
Great,
so it could be not be flexible, but we can have a supplemental list.
Awesome. Thank you, sir.
All right, I'll proceed with the vote. Councilor Jones-Waters.
Yes.
Councilor Cade.
Yes, Madam President.
Councilor McCabe.
Yes.
Councilor Roadcloud. Councilor Francis.
Yes.
Councilor Johnson.
Yes.
Councilor Roadcloud.
Yes.
It's a yes from me. The vote is unanimous. The motion carries.
Madam President, there's a question about how many people are on the call. There are 22 attendees and 15 panelists at this time.
Thank you.
My report at this time, Madam President, is concluded. Other than telling council, I'll be telling them about ongoing litigation, which are the tax assessment appeals in due course. Thank you.
I'm sorry, I have a question for the solicitor. I think you forgot something, or maybe you changed your plans.
Go ahead, ma'am.
At the caucus I believe it was last week, you indicated you were going to make a motion to have the missing person from the Civil Service Commission withdrawn.
So I can't make a motion. We have to do a public hearing.
Mm-hmm.
My certified mail receipt has not come back for him. So I can't bring that to council without proof of service of the hearing.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
The mail was sent out last month. Certified mail was sent out at the beginning of the month. There's been no green card returned.
Are you able to look it up on the postal office website with the
Yes,
certified?
not delivered.
I'm sorry?
It says not delivered, and we made it that only he could sign for it.
Right.
All right. Mr. Gibbs, does that end your report?
It does, ma'am. Thank you.
Thank you. We'll move on to our tax collector's report. Do we have a report in her stead?
Madam President, Ms. James asked that her report be submitted as reported at the caucus.
Thank you very much. Let's move on to our library report.
Good evening, everyone. I ask that my report from caucus stand as submitted with 2 additions. This Saturday, March 20th at 11 a.m., we're going to have our Swing into Spring program with Turtle Man for youth. So if you know any youth who might be interested, please have them contact the library or check our Facebook page. Again, it's Saturday at 11. And I just want to let everybody know we'll continue to work to pull together names for people who need to be vaccinated. And we will, as Miranda said, have a flyer that goes out with our materials.
Thank you, Mr. Penny.
That ends my report.
All right. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Ms. Mulvana.
Hi, good evening. So the
Good
first
evening.
item on the agenda is the 728 Yeadon Avenue has been a property that's been of concern for a number of years now. The judicial sale was delayed from last fall, and I believe it is in April this year, but in case it doesn't get sold, we're asking for authorization to prepare a grant application to the county for demolition of the property.
So moved, Madam President.
Second.
Having been moved and properly seconded on the question. Hearing none, I'll proceed with the roll call vote in the order that councilors appear on my screen. Councilor Jones Waters.
Yes.
Councilor Cade.
Yes.
Councilor McCabe.
Yes.
Councilor Roadcloud. Councilor Francis.
Yes.
Councilor Johnson.
Yes.
It's a yes from me. The vote is unanimous. The motion carries.
Thank you. The next item is to authorize the surveying of the former Yeadon Swim Club site. And it would be a topographic survey with 2-foot contour intervals. And the lowest price that we received was $7,700 from GD Hootman and Son, and they're a firm located in Media.
So moved, Madam President.
Second, Madam President. Thank you.
Thank you. Having been moved and properly seconded on the question.
I have a question.
Councilor Roadcloud.
With respect to this motion, $7,700 for a recreation center at the old Yeadon swim site. This is the first I'm even hearing about it. I mean, is there some kind of plan put together?
No. So the idea, it shouldn't say for the proposed recreation center, it doesn't really matter what the use is. It's just getting a survey done of the property that will show us how the grade of the entire site is for whatever use it may eventually be. But they will do nothing that has anything to do with any type of structure. They're just documenting what is existing, how the ground looks for the entire.
Okay, strictly for the ground. So let me ask this, because I don't know a lot about it, the revitalization study grant, would that individual who would perform that study also include the study of the ground as well?
I'm not familiar with that grant, but if that was included in the scope of work, then yes, it could be done under that grant. But if it wasn't included in the grant application, then no, it would not be permitted to be done.
So I kind of feel like it would be wise to find out whether or not that is included in that grant, and we wouldn't have to spend $7,700.
Counselor, if I may, that would not be included in the grant. The grant would kind of look at what types of things, an economic development study of the area, almost a feasibility study to see what types of things are best suited to be there. This will only enhance it when the borough decides when they want or how they want to develop and move forward with it. So this is a part of a larger plan. This is like, I don't want to call one A, B, or C, but this is a piece that we most certainly need outside of the bigger thing.
Okay. And I would say that having that information may help whoever is doing the assessment of the site for its uses. Having this information would actually be helpful for that.
Okay, that makes sense. And I would ask that the motion be repeated, please.
It would be to accept the proposal from GD Hootman and Son, which is it's an engineering and surveying company in Media, Pennsylvania, for their proposal of $7,700 to do a topographic survey of the former Yeadon Swim Club site.
I have a question.
So it was already moved and seconded. Councilor Jones Waters.
Yes, wasn't this study done a few years ago when they were trying to put the YMCA over there?
No, the study that was done a few years ago was we did I think I was a solicitor and I prepared the bid for it. It was go ahead, I'm sorry.
No, go ahead. Go ahead.
It was Eileen, correct my term, we did an estimate of the property. What is it called?
Oh, you did the appraisal.
We did an appraisal. We did not do a survey.
So why are we using this particular company, JD Hoopy and Son?
So we went and asked 2 different surveyors in the local area to give pricing to do the survey. And their price was $7,700. The second company was Michael Bieber, and his price was $8,000. So we're recommending the lower price. I happen to know both companies. The borough has used both companies. They're both qualified surveyors.
So the motion, does the motion have to be changed? Because, I mean, you mentioned that the study is for the rec center. Does it have to be amended?
No, I said for the former Yeadon Swim Club site. It's written here as a proposed recreation center, but it's actually, the use has no impact on the survey. This is strictly looking at the ground and what the grading is on the ground.
So what was moved and seconded was just the survey for $7,700 with this company of the Yeadon Swim Club. So I'm going to call for the vote now. If there aren't any additional questions. Councilor Jones Waters.
No.
Councilor Cade.
Yes.
Councilor McCabe. Councilor McCabe. Councilor Roadcloud. Thank you, Dr. McCabe.
Yes.
Councilor Johnson.
Yes.
Councilor Francis.
Yes.
So yes from me, the motion carries.
Okay, the third one is that the borough had been contacted by a national fitness campaign group, and they have a grant that is due on March 25th, and we're asking for authorization to apply for the grant. And it would be part of the comprehensive park improvement that's going on at the Yeadon Community Park.
So moved.
Second.
Having been moved and properly seconded on the question.
Madam
Can you
President,
explain?
Madam President, can we note, there's a comment, can we note who made the motion and who made the second?
On this one right here?
Yes, sir.
I made the first one.
Clara Johnson, second.
So while you don't necessarily, Madam President, I just want to address the comment so we can try to make sure that people are informed. There's no requirement under Robert's Rules of Order that you see the person who makes the motion. The requirement under Robert's Rules of Order is that a duly elected member of the body make a motion. I can attest that Councilor Johnson and Councilor Francis are both duly elected members, and they made the motion. But because they're not using their video, you can't see them necessarily. They didn't make the motion. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
I have a question.
Councilor Jones Waters.
Eileen, can you explain, please?
So there is an organization that works throughout the country, and they provide grants, contributions towards projects that are related to fitness equipment. As part of the borough's DCNR grant that you received, you are upgrading the fitness workstations that are currently located at the park. So this grant would also help support that effort. If you're successful, they would help pay for some of that, the effort that's involved in developing that section of the park.
Thank you.
And it was the fitness stations. I'm not sure. They're right now, there's different. I know there was like a balance beam. There's a sit-up place. There's some pull-down equipment there, and it's rather old. I remember when we did that grant. I think that was back in the 90s. So it's very old equipment, and this is a proposal to upgrade that. And you have an existing grant with DCNR that's also serves that. Part of it is to serve that same purpose.
All right. Without additional question, we'll move on to the roll call vote. Councilor Jones Waters.
Yes.
Councilor Cade.
Yes.
Councilor McCabe.
Yes.
Councilor Roadcloud.
Yes.
Councilor Johnson.
Yes.
Councilor Francis.
Yes.
It's a yes from me. The vote is unanimous. The motion carries.
And the last item is related to the liquid fuels allocation that the state provides to all the municipalities and to all the counties. Delaware County does not own any roadways, so they distribute their allocation to all the municipalities in the county. So what they require is that a resolution be passed each year requesting your allocation from the county's allocation. You get a separate allocation from the state. So it does require a resolution. It would be 21-004. And it would be, the resolution is to apply for the allocation of county liquid fuels tax funds for 2021.
So moved.
Second, Rafi.
All right, having been moved and properly seconded on the question. Hearing none, I'll proceed with the roll call vote. Councilor Jones Waters.
Yes.
Councilor Cade.
Yes, Madam President.
Councilor McCabe.
Yes.
Councilor Roadcloud.
Yes.
Councilor Johnson.
Yes.
Councilor Francis.
Yes, Madam President.
It's a yes from me. The vote is unanimous. The motion carries.
And that concludes my report. Thank you.
Thank you, Eileen. We'll now move on to our finance report.
Thank you, Madam President. Rafi Cave here. I love Yeadon family. Madam President, I am seeking a motion for the consideration of the accounts payable list, please.
So moved.
Councilor Johnson, so moved.
Second, McCabe.
Having been moved and properly seconded on the question. Hearing none, I'll proceed with the roll call vote. Councilor Jones Waters.
Yes.
Councilor Cade.
Yes.
Councilor McCabe.
Yes.
Councilor Roadcloud.
No.
Councilor Johnson.
Yes.
Councilor Francis.
Yes.
It's a yes from me. The motion carries.
Madam President, I am seeking a motion for the consideration of the cash balance report, please.
So moved, Madam President.
Moved by Mr. Francis. Is there a second?
Second. Second, McCabe.
Seconded by Dr. McCabe. I'll proceed with the roll call vote. Counselor Jones Waters,
Yes.
Counselor Cade,
Yes.
Counselor McCabe,
Yes.
Counselor Roadcloud,
No.
Counselor Johnson,
Yes.
Counselor Francis.
Yes.
So yes from me, the vote is unanimous, the motion carries.
Finally, Madam President, I'm sorry.
Go ahead. I was saying that the people of Yeadon, the employees in Yeadon can get paid now.
Madam President, the vote was not unanimous.
Oh, I'm sorry, the vote was not unanimous, but the motion carried. And the people of Yeadon who work so hard for us on a daily basis can now be paid. Counselor King?
Madam President, I'm seeking a motion for approving the grant application for the Yeadon Education Athletic Association, also known as YEAA, for their donation request of $3,000.
So moved by Counselor Johnson.
Second by Ron Francis.
Okay, we have 2 seconds on the floor. On the question. Thank you, Dr. McCabe.
I have a question.
Counselor Jones Waters.
Now, this is a follow-up from the original request. And
Yes,
you lowered the amount?
Yeah, so they initially made the request for, I think, $5,000 and then came back and we requested more information. And I believe another counselor suggested that we lower the amount and ask that it be placed on for consideration. So this is that consideration. I'm sorry, the original request was 10,000.
I thought it was 11.
No, 10.
10.
All right. So we'll proceed with the roll call vote. Counselor Jones Waters,
Yes.
Counselor Cade,
Yes.
Counselor McCabe,
Yes.
Counselor Roadcloud,
Yes.
Counselor Johnson,
Yes.
Counselor Francis.
Yes.
So yes from me, the vote is unanimous, the motion carries.
That's it for tonight, Madam President.
Thank you, Counselor Cruz.
I also think, I'm sorry, Mr. Nichols, are you there?
Yes, Counselor.
You want to share some of the upgrade opportunities?
Sure. The financial software that the borough use has been in place for quite some time. The last upgrade that happened in the borough was actually in 2009. So we are in the process of upgrading the software system, and we were able to negotiate and got a really good deal of $1,400. At the end of this year, had we continue with the software as we had it, Microsoft would not be able to support it, so we would have ran into some problems. So we are in the process of upgrading the financial software system. It will give us some better reports. I know Councilor Jones Waters, you call me about the reports all the time, so they're more user-friendly. We're excited about the upgrades to the system, and I think council will be as well, because you'll be able to, again, get more updated reports so that you can kind of look, and we can also post to the website better as well.
Thank you for that. Is that it for Counselor Cade?
Yes, ma'am. Thank you. Thanks, Mr.
That
Nichols.
doesn't need a motion. That doesn't need a motion?
It's
No,
motion behind it.
that's just a professional expense. It's upgrading software. He was just wanted to mention that they're making the upgrade. Okay.
Okay.
All right. We are moving on to ordinance and zoning.
Requesting that my report submitted at caucus be entered at this time.
Thank you. Moving on to public works.
Asking that the report read at caucus be accepted by council.
Thank you. Moving on to public safety. Mayor Hopkins, Councilor McCabe.
Public safety met Saturday, February 27th, and we submitted that report. It stands as submitted. Our next meeting will be Saturday, March 27th. There ends our report. Dr. McCabe, do you have anything to add?
No, I don't.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you,
Chief?
Mayor. Thank you, Dr. McCabe. Chief?
I'll ask that council accept my report as submitted to caucus. I have nothing further. Thank you.
You don't want to tell us about your new speed bumps?
I actually brought them up at another meeting, but they're out and about. They're not the greatest thing in the world, but they are a visual deterrent on some of the locations. The DUI task force hopefully is going to be rolling back again. We've had a couple more DUI accidents at Church and McDade. That location is very difficult when you're under the influence. So we'll look for that in an upcoming report once I get that planned with the task force. That's all I have.
Thank you. I also understand that you had an interesting detail, one of a kind. Would you like to share any information about that? I saw the little rover come out.
With the president was in town. He first went to Chester and then came to Darby. He spent some time at the rec center doing an interview with a TV news person, George Stephanopoulos, I believe it was. And he was in and out of the area in about 2 hours. And everybody did an outstanding job, and that the president was safe while he was here. There was no issues, no concerns. Obviously heavy traffic in the area, but it was nice to have him come and deliver information that we're also going to benefit from the COVID relief packages that went out, the Rescue America plan.
All right, thanks so much. Seems like the president is taking a liking to DELCA. We need to keep that momentum.
Yeah.
Leslie, let's move on to recreation.
Yes, good evening, Madam President. Good evening, everyone. Sorry about last difficulties. I spoke to our recreation committee members. All agreed due to the pandemic, Flag Day celebration will not be in person. We will find an alternate way to celebrate Flag, which will probably be virtual. The next one is our Halloween program. Not be a haunted hall. Again, we're avoiding people being in person at any event. We'll find an alternate way at a later time. The Veterans Day program, we will continue to distribute box lunches to our veterans as we did last year. And the Christmas tree lighting, which will be in December, will also be virtual. Dates will be announced at the time. So ends my report, Mr. President.
Thank you so much.
Madam President.
Dr. McCabe?
Yeah, it was my understanding that the governor was removing all of the restrictions in June.
Yes, and let me respond back, President. Yes, he has, but that has been Delaware County, and there's also, if we look at the news, I believe as of Monday, 9% of Americans have not received their vaccine. There's no way we can make sure everybody's social distancing at Kerr Field. And for the best on the air of caution, safety, we must rather not try to put everybody together at this time. I believe the president also stated that everybody should be have their vaccine by May. That he leaves us June. We start around December or so to plan for Flag Day. We can discuss this.
I would like you to really think about this a little bit more, because I do believe that you can lose people's enthusiasm and spirit that they feel. And even if you have a Zoom Flag Day, that reconsider doing something.
Well, this is what we said. I tagged it as virtual. You could tag it as Zoom.
I didn't hear you say virtual.
Yes, ma'am. We're going to have it virtually.
Okay.
Okay.
Right,
I've also spoken to Mr. Kerr, the grandson of William Kerr, and he's glad that we're going to continue the the history and the legacy of the Kerr family. So ends my report, Madam President.
All right, thank you very much. So I guess, Dr. McCabe, we want to make sure that, we do keep the momentum with our Flag Day. This is what Yeadon is known for. So I'm sure that with your help and with the help of community members and led by Mr. Francis and Mr. Hunter, we will be able to put on some sort of production, just not an in-person production.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah,
Mr.
I
Francis,
mean.
Oh, okay. That was Dr.
Yeah.
McCabe?
We should hire a nice group, some kind of group that can entertain people.
Okay.
You know, we always have a group of some kind at Flag Day.
Do you mean someone to run it, or are you talking about like entertain?
To entertain.
Oh, absolutely. We should be able to do something like that. Mr. Francis, I guess you'll make sure to include Dr. McCabe in the planning.
I will give a call tomorrow.
All right, Dr. McCabe, you got that?
Got it.
I think there are some questions in the chat about, I saw something pop up, Mr. Gibbs. You're on mute, sir.
There was a question about would there be a Flag Day committee?
What was the question?
Will there be a Flag Day committee?
They can give me a call. What we've been trying to call each other and keep from trying to meet in person, but they're welcome to give me a call or leave their number. I will call them.
There's no other questions pending.
Okay. So, Mr. Francis, how is it that you plan to advertise? Are you going to maybe on the website?
Yes, once we get the dates, I'll contact the borough manager, put it on the website, and we'll try to get the word out as quick as possible.
Okay.
Madam President, I have one more question before we adjourn.
Councilor Cade.
It's regarding the relief money. How will we communicate how we've been spending it? We don't need a subcommittee or anything like that, right? Like, you know what I mean? Or will we just report out?
Mr. Nichols, that sounds like a question that would be best answered by you.
So, Councilor Cave, there are restrictions to what funds can be used for. The funds, again, is broken up into two phases. Phase one, 50% of it will come to the borough within 60 days. Phase two comes 12 months after disbursement. Things that you cannot use it for, you cannot provide any relief to your pension fund. And it's a couple of other things that they're still ironing out. Things that they say funds can be used for are to infrastructure needs, providing assistance to households, small businesses, and nonprofits, provide to industries such as tourism, travel, and hospitality. The county has money. I probably would recommend that the county do that part. Provide government services in the instance of loss of revenue. We can do things around investing in our water, sewer, and broadband infrastructure. So it's tailored to what we can use it for. Management will make some recommendations and present it to council. We will have a separate chart of accounts. And of course, with any federal funds, you usually have to open a separate account anyway. So we'll open up a separate account and it will be tracked that way.
Thank you so much.
Mr. Nichols, this is Dr. McCabe. Madam President, may I ask him or make a suggestion?
Yes, and then we have someone else wishing to speak after you, Dr. McCabe.
Mr. Nichols, I've been reading a book called Healthy Buildings, and I want to make a strong recommendation that we begin to look at a book or a book like that, that talks about the importance of ventilation, the importance of having clean air in your building. And there are like 9 things that he suggests needs to be considered in every building.
Okay.
And I think that part of what this kind of money would be given for is that this is not the last time we're going to see something like the coronavirus. So we need to be preparing our building for the next round, SARS 3, and this is SARS 2, and you know, it's going to happen. And so we need to be thinking ahead. We don't need to think that, you know, it's over in 3 or 4 months.
Understood.
It will. This one will be over, but the next one is coming. And
And
so we need to look at what we need to do with our building to make it a livable building for the people who come in and out of there. And especially the people who work there 40 hours a week.
I totally agree with you, Dr. McCabe. I'm actually looking the book up now for me to order, and I will also give you a call tomorrow so that we can talk in more detail about it.
Right.
Oh,
Madam
okay.
President, Senator
Thank you so much.
Anthony Williams is in the waiting room. Can I let him in?
Yes, thank you. Senator Williams.
I'm here.
Thank you. What an honor and privilege to have you on our local meeting. There were some questions regarding the 100 vaccines that you were able to secure for your constituents. There was a question about how many of them were Yeadon residents, and a suggestion that your office said that there were 7 Yeadon residents served out of those 100. And, you know, I just wanted to make sure you had a chance to just address that, because I know that when you and I spoke, there was different information provided.
So, apologize. There may be some background noise. I'm actually on another Zoom event. I was texted a few times about questions being asked about. I will get the exact amount, but be very clear. Information about the people who were tested, we cannot distribute that. That is protected by healthcare laws in this country. And I have to actually find out whether we from my office, can distribute the information about how many people were tested in each borough that I contacted. That may also be protected. We were contacted, I think, 24 hours before we contacted each borough that I represent in Delaware County. Our hope was to give 10 individuals in each borough an opportunity to be vaccinated. We did not identify who that was. We went through the mayors and the presidents of council as our points of contact to do outreach. Yeadon may have in fact gotten more vaccinated individuals because of the work that they put in, and some boroughs did not work as effectively at identifying individuals to do that. We're not sure if we will have the opportunity to do it again, but these are private companies that have responded to a plea by me and others in Delaware County. I'm sure it's no surprise that African Americans are way behind their other counterparts in terms of being vaccinated, even though presently they want to accept the vaccination more than the other folks. And when you go to many of these places where vaccines are occurring, still the minority population in line, even in African American communities, are Black people. And so every time I find an opportunity to get vaccines through whatever mechanism legally, I'm going to do my best to work with local governments to provide that to their constituents that are in dire need of this kind of protection.
Thank you so much, Senator. And I know your time is precious, and you took the time out to make these clarifications for us. I appreciate the work that you're doing for our community and in all of Delaware County. And thank you for the relationship. Thank you for supporting Mayor Hepkins and I in our path to move Yeadon forward. Without further ado, sir.
I apologize. I'm sorry. Is there a question in the chat? Is that what I'm seeing here? In your chat area?
It is not a question. And good evening, Senator Williams. This is Liana Rowe-Cloud. The issue was not asking for individual names who actually received the vaccination. The issue was the information with respect to having additional vaccinations only being disseminated to a limited number of people, not giving everyone an opportunity to distribute the information throughout. That is the issue.
So as far as that's concerned, that issue is one that we have been behind the 8 ball, period. And I'm not sure that I have a better answer than, unfortunately, our community has been underserved when it comes to the state government's plan to provide vaccines. 10 vaccines in Yeadon, Darby, Lansdowne, Folkoff, Colwyn is nowhere near the demand for it. So operating with limited resources, limited time, I went to the mayors and I went to the president of the borough councils and provided that information. If I had 10,000, certainly I think we had more of an opportunity to spread it across the board. But because it was such a limited amount, such a short term, we wanted to supplement whatever's going on in these areas. And by the way, county council is doing everything they can to make sure our area is represented. And your borough, in fact, is one of the leading areas as it relates to testing and getting people vaccinated because they've advocated for a site to be in Yeadon. And so you all are uniquely positioned compared to some of the surrounding boroughs with regard to that. But nonetheless, the resources are very limited and the process is going to be very challenged, unless we get more vaccines.
Thank you.
Certainly.
Thank you. Thank you, Senator.
All right.
Without further ado,
Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
Thank you all. Take care. Be safe.
Take care.
Take care.
Can we entertain a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
So moved.
Thank you for coming out, everyone. Have a great night.